What if I told you that 17 minutes could change how your brain handles attention? And what if the people who struggle most with attention might actually be focusing too much on the wrong things? Stay with me, because, as research in neuroscience suggests, how attention really works may be very different from what you've been taught. You know that feeling when you're completely absorbed in something and suddenly realize you've missed everything else happening around you? That split second where your awareness goes blank. Scientists call these attentional blinks. And here's what's fascinating. People who struggle with attention don't have broken focus circuits. They often experience more of these blinks than others. Here's the part most people miss. What if attention difficulties aren't about an inability to focus at all? What if they're about focus becoming too narrow? Think about it. We've all seen people become completely absorbed in something they care about for hours. The traditional view says this reflects poor attention, but the evidence suggests something else may be happening. Attention locking onto certain elements so tightly that everything else drops out of awareness. This reframes attention difficulties entirely. Instead of trying to force concentration, what if the real skill is learning to expand awareness? What if the key isn't narrowing attention harder, but widening it? This is where our understanding of attention starts to shift. Your visual system actually operates in two distinct modes, and most people are never taught that they can move between them. Right now, as you're watching this video, you're probably in what researchers sometimes call soda straw vision. Your attention is narrowly focused on the screen, while most of your peripheral awareness fades into the background. But there's another mode, often described as panoramic vision. Even while looking directly at something, you can soften your gaze and become aware of the entire visual field at once. The edges of the screen, the room around you, movement at the periphery. This isn't just about seeing more space. This mode processes information differently, with greater sensitivity to change over time. This next part is where it all comes together. These two visual modes are supported by separate neural circuits. The circuits involved in panoramic awareness aren't just wider in scope, they're also better at tracking multiple streams of information unfolding over time. This turns out to matter a great deal for attention. Researchers discovered something that sounds almost too simple. They asked participants to sit quietly with their eyes closed for 17 minutes. No complex meditation training, no years of practice, just 17 minutes of what they called interoceptive awareness. Interoception is the ability to sense what's happening inside your body. Your breathing, heartbeat, posture, the contact of clothing against skin. During this session, participants simply attended to these internal sensations. When the mind wandered, attention was gently brought back to bodily awareness. That was the entire practice. What researchers observed afterward was striking. Participants showed fewer attentional blinks. Their ability to track multiple visual targets improved. They were better able to maintain awareness across sequential tasks without the same lapses. Most remarkably, follow-up testing suggested these changes weren't temporary. A single session appeared to create long-lasting shifts in how attentional circuits functioned. Let's slow this down for a moment. As we age, attentional blinks tend to increase, and working memory often becomes less stable. This is part of why attention can feel more fragile over time. But researchers found that this same brief interoceptive practice appeared to reduce these effects, suggesting that attentional flexibility can be trained even later in life. Whether you're 8 years old or 80, whether your attention feels steady or unpredictable, this kind of practice seems to stabilize attention in a way that carries over into daily tasks. How might this be happening? When you reduce visual input by closing your eyes and turn attention inward, you're training awareness to stay present across multiple internal signals at once. Breathing, bodily sensation, subtle shifts in feeling. This multi-stream awareness appears to reduce the tendency for attention to collapse into a single narrow channel. If you remember just one thing from this, it's this. Attention improves not by narrowing harder, but by widening, or learning how to stay aware without collapsing into a single point. There's another tool you can explore immediately. While continuing to watch this video, see if you can soften your gaze. Without moving your eyes, notice your peripheral vision, the edges of the screen, the room around you. This panoramic awareness activates a different mode of processing, one that's better at holding multiple sources of information at once. Some people call this open monitoring or soft gaze. The effect is often noticeable right away. You can shift between narrow focus and panoramic awareness deliberately, giving you more flexibility in how attention operates moment to moment. Before we finish, there's a simple way to practice this directly. For the next few moments, with eyes open or closed, place your attention on your breathing, not controlling it. Just notice. Feel the air move in and out. Notice your body sitting here. If a thought appears, just label it thinking and gently come back to the breath. You're not trying to focus harder. You're practicing awareness. That's the shift. You're experiencing the same interoceptive awareness used in the research, learning to stay present without narrowing too tightly, just being with what is. This brief version offers a taste of the longer practice. The full version studied was 17 minutes of quiet awareness, eyes closed, attention resting on breathing and bodily sensation, and letting thoughts go. But there's no need to start there. You might begin with just a minute or two, a few times a week, simply noticing what it's like to stay with sensation for that long. Over time, you could let that expand naturally to 3 or 5 minutes, guided more by curiosity than effort. Even brief moments of this kind of attention can be informative. The invitation is just to notice what changes when awareness is allowed to widen. What begins as these small shifts in moment-to-moment awareness can ripple outward in surprising ways. The implications of this research extend beyond attention alone. These kinds of practices in shifts of awareness are being explored in relation to aging, to learning. They are also important for emotional regulation and how we relate to our own inner experience. What stands out most is how accessible this is. No equipment, no training hierarchy. Just a short period of quiet attention. Something done for centuries, now studied in a way that helps us understand its effects on the brain. The next time attention feels scattered or overly narrow, it may help to remember that attentional circuits are more flexible than they often seem. Even brief periods of expanded, embodied awareness can influence how attention functions afterward. So here's an invitation. Set aside a few minutes this week. Close your eyes and attend to your breath, feeling each inhale and exhale, sensing your body. Or, with eyes open, rest your attention on a single object in front of you, then gradually let your gaze soften and your awareness expand. See what unfolds when attention is allowed to widen naturally rather than strained. Even these small, quiet moments of noticing can be more powerful than they seem. To keep building this skill, check out the resources linked below. They include tools, reflections, and short practices designed to support this kind of attentional flexibility. Take whatever feels useful for you, and we'll continue together in the next video.